Hi kids, welcome to Terry on Tuesday. Trying something different with the camera. It's actually outdoors and you're looking through the window. That way we get the light into the kitchen of creation, as we call it. Absolute chaos here. Absolute chaos. Marvin stuff. Yes, I know, more Marvin stuff. Unfortunately, this is the most entertaining content I can come up with because I'm really up against it now to try and get Marvin finished. And there's a lot to do. So last week I was working on the chest unit and getting it onto the chest plate there. As you can see, the body's come quite far. Right, chest plate is currently just masking taped on for speed, but everything fits nicely. Now the wind is blowing things everywhere. So that looks really nice. I had to respray the bottom half of this, that's why it looks a bit darker. Because some of the paint scratched off. Anyway, what else we've done, as you can see, I've fitted the aluminium plates with bolts all there. That took a couple of days because I'm obviously fiberglassing the threaded T-nuts into the fiberglass body and then fitting everything on. I still have to trim down some of the protruding threaded pieces and cut all this away. This is all fiberglass here. Cut this away so I got a bit more room in the arms. As you can see, matches the hole. Now to give you an idea, I'll turn it around. This is getting heavy. I fitted one of the turntables on. So basically the arm turntable will fit onto this outer ring and the inner ring is connected to the metal plate. So how do I get into it? Well, we take all the sides off, open it up, pop me in, clamp me back in, bolt it together, and the arms are already fitted onto the side, as you can see in this handy dandy picture. You'll see? Okay, so far that seems to be working nicely. It spins nicely. The other one's going to be the same, the other side. The back panel is not on yet, but I finished the back panel. Gave it a spray, and obviously this is not movie accurate, but I've got Marvin there and I've got the plaque dedicated to Douglas Adams, Stephen Moore and David Lerner on there, and some nice chrome letters because I think it'd be nice to have a kind of branding on there. The back of Marvin is usually quite empty, so I thought it'd be nice to have the name on there, so when people are looking at him, you know, wandering around, they might see, oh, that's his name. Because not everyone is that familiar with Marvin. So what else have I done? Well, I did a test fitting of one of the arms, got everything together, and I'll put some footage up here. And while that's doing that, I glued the aluminium plates on the front of both forearms. I had to completely respray the forearms because they were a bit bumpy and horrible, but that's a bit nicer. Top half, I spent a good couple of days completely replacing the 3D printed discs here and here. More pictures coming up, and as you can see, they look a bit nicer. They look more like the real thing. As for this one here, 25mm diameter one, I'm going to replace that there in the post. So I'm going to do the same thing, sand it all down, grind it all down with a Dremel, fill it with filler. I can hear seagulls. And place the chrome versions on there so it look a bit more accurate, as in handy dandy piece of paper. Okay, so that's both the arms. I have much to do on the arms. Let's face it, I've got much to do on the everything. But the arms will fit onto these pieces. I've got to paint the other one black around the edges, and like I say, they fit. They'll be screwed onto the turntables, or the Lazy Susans, or what you want to call them, so they actually rotate. And then I've got to connect this to this, like so. Maybe the other arm, I've got the wrong arm, but something like that. I think what I'm probably going to do is E6000 or industrial super glue, and then on the inside put a bit of fiberglass right around the edges so it's nice and solid and glued tightly. So working down the body now, we have the skirt. I will show you the skirt. the skirt is the wider part just underneath the torso, as you can see here. And again, going from the picture that I showed you last week of this currently mystery gentleman, he's wearing a skirt, but the bottom part of the skirt is hanging around his knees at the moment. My skirt is going to be completely connected, as you can see. Again, symmetrical, so I've got two of these, and these are vac formed by, I will say, Paul Jennings, so thank you, Paul, for that. And what I'm doing, because they're quite thin, I'm reinforcing all the insides with plastic card to make it a lot more sturdy, and then I've got to make sure that the seams, especially on these parts here, are completely smooth, because we're having aluminium plates across here, aluminium plate across the bottom, so these two need to be perfect, that needs to be perfect. I have to blend in this strengthening plastic at the top, and this plastic all the way around, this white stuff, has to join up with the beading that I showed you last week, or that I did last week. The beading, the white beading around the edge. Hello. As you can tell, this is getting heavier by the day. It's going to be even heavier. I've got to put the head on, I've got to put the Lazy Susan on that side, and then the entire weight of the arms and hands go on there, and then I've got to carry that weight, all of it. The legs, no problem, but the skirt and everything else is all carried on me. My mate Steve has given me a sort of tactical strapping system, which I'm going to find a way of connecting into that, so then the weight will be on my shoulders like a rucksack strap, so it'll be a lot more comfy than just having that on there. The other version, if you look at this chap here, again, that white thing by his neck, I think that's foam sponge. So it might be a nice idea to get some sort of pool noodles, you know those pool noodles, in insulation grey tubes, pop them under there, might help. We'll see how it goes. What else am I doing? Yes, let's show you the head while the head is over here. Because I've finally got some E6000, lovely glue, states it's carcinogenic, but it don't smell nasty, it smells quite nice actually, so you shouldn't be smelling it. It's great stuff, it's the best glue I think you can buy. It's very sort of rubbery, and when it dries after 24 hours, it's rock solid, but you can take it off without causing any damage to whatever you've glued. Anyway, so as you can see, the clamps around the back here, I'm basically re-clamping on the piece of aluminium that went all the way around the back, because that popped off before. I did it with epoxy glue and it wasn't glued properly and it popped off. And what you'll also notice is loads of little plastic tabs all around this top edge. I'm going to put them around the bottom edge as well, just to fill the gap and make it level, because at the moment the aluminium is a little deeper or a little longer than the plastic ring, so I'm just going to make it dead level all the way around, and that will give us a base to connect this to the very big Lazy Susan, which is currently on top of the torso. I'll put a bit of video there so you can see it, because I keep picking that thing up. So yeah, chaos. I've been working a couple of hours on this per day. There's loads to be done. Thighs have not even been started. They're printed and assembled but not connected together or sanded or filled or anything like that. The rest of the body isn't too bad. Hands are finished. I'll put some hand pictures there. And what else? I am considering shortening the thighs. There'll be more on the thighs in coming weeks, but the thighs that I've made are quite long at the moment, and the longer they are, the more they'll interfere with my legs bending. So I have short legs, so I may have to accommodate, like I do with stormtrooper suits, cut everything a little shorter in the leg section so I can actually walk around. One thing that does worry me is how much room I'll have to move my legs within the skirt. So what I think I'm going to do is remove this return edge here and just have it as thick as a couple of pieces of plastic, but make it as strong as I possibly can, just so I've got extra room to move my legs, because obviously with the weird thing with Marvin is the skirt is the widest point, then the thighs go within that, and the shins go within that, and the ankles go within the shins, and then the feet go inside the ankles. So you change one thing, you've got to change it all. So let's not go crazy. As I put in my Instagram post, follow me on Instagram. I put a lot of stuff on Instagram because I like Instagram. As I said on Instagram, I took a photo of it last night actually there, and as you can see, it kind of looks nice. You know, I'm quite chuffed with it. But as I never had any measurements, no official measurements of the entire thing, I basically had to wing it. I did some drawings. I basically worked out that Marvin is about 6 feet tall, and that's all I had. So everything else was done by eye, and I'm kind of thinking that the torso seems too short and maybe a little bit too narrow, but at the end of the day, it's good enough. Again, I'm not an absolute stickler for accuracy. I've got my own level of accuracy in my head as everyone else is. Some people are super pedantic and super accurate with stuff, which is fine, but don't judge me by your standards if you're one of those really accurate people. I want it to look as good as I want it to look, you know what I mean? I can spot a million things wrong with it. I think the hands on mine are way too big. I think the torso is a little small. There's a couple of minor details on the face and the head that I would like to have changed, but life's too short. I'm happy with the way it looks. I don't know, I can't see myself making another one. It's taken me 4 years. I know I haven't done it every day, and I'm making a lot of progress now because I've got all the pieces I need. But I think when he's finished, he'll be good enough. My only concern is that I can actually fit in him. And I don't mean because of this, although that is a factor. He is coming together. Not as quick as I'd like, obviously. I want to get him done long before the end of July when the Cardiff Tattoo Con is happening. I think the skirt is going to take a lot of work. I've got to finish it and I've got to fit it together and make sure it fits to the torso and that it's able to come apart for transport, because this isn't strong enough to support the weight of itself and the whole body. So I need to keep some things separate and connect them together when I'm putting it on. So yeah, lots of progress. Again, being a nut job, I'm not happy with the progress going fast enough, but you can only go as fast as you want to go. I'm forever on Amazon and eBay ordering different size bolts and fittings and glues and tools and all sorts of things. But it just goes to show that a project like this is super involved and probably too much work for one person. Anyway. That said, I need to do a correction from last week. The lighting on the chest unit I said was done by Yoss. I do apologise, it was done by Tyridium Models. Tyridium or Tydirium? I think it's Tyridium actually, as opposed to Tydirium. They did the lighting circuit and everything there, so apologies to them for that. Yost extended some of the lighting, the wires inside the head, the eyes, because the eye lights connect to the chest lights, etc. So yeah, thanks to, I'll try and go through all the names if at all possible, Merv Statten and Dave Damon for the head, Grail Laser for cutting all the aluminium shapes that you will see going on to Marvin, Gavin Smith for some 3D printing, mainly the chest unit, Paul Jennings for some vac forming of the skirt, Baz Lorimer for vac forming the front and back plates. I don't even have the names to head, I'm just trying to remember them all. Steve Perbrick for sanding and finishing the feet, ankles and currently the shins he's working on, which is great. Martin Norton for 3D printing and modelling the hands for me. Ash Duggan did the arm pieces, did the forearms initially, and I think I've replaced them with, I had to replace them with bigger ones, not his fault, just mine. Angus something, Angus Makes, he's on Instagram, he did the thighs and stuff for me. Unfortunately they're the wrong size, my fault again, so I've had to reprint them myself, but thanks for doing that, Angus. and currently anyone else who's helped me, especially with paid work, thank you, to get all this done and keep paying for things. I think he's going to be great. Again, he's going to hopefully make his debut at Cardiff International Tattoo Con on the 30th and 31st of July this year. Guest of honour will be David Lerner, the guy who wore the suit on stage and on TV, also known as Pickle from Nightmare, the ITV Kids show back in the 80s, and probably the 90s. So if you want a photo with David Lerner, the original Marvin, and my Marvin, that would be awesome. Again, disclaimer from last week, if I have problems with a suit, like I can't walk in it, I can't get into it, or it's not finished by any important things, I will have him on display. Even if it's just head, arms, body on a table, I will have him on display so we can still get photos with him and stuff. That's it. Again, I'm rushing through this one because I've got a busy Sunday afternoon, loads going on. I've got meetings to do. I've got something really exciting coming up that I think is going to happen. I can't tell you about it now. I hate it when people say I can't talk about it now, so why do you even mention it? Because I happen to jinx things. When I say something's going to happen, it doesn't happen. I'm just waiting to find out next week if it happens. If it does happen, if it comes off, I'll tell you all about it because it's exciting and it's great, at least to me. So, thank you for watching. From me and Marvin and the Kitchen of Chaos at the moment. Have a nice Sunday, Easter Sunday today, but it's going to be Tuesday by the time you see this, so I hope you had a nice Easter, and I will see you next week for more Marvin Insanity, if I'm still alive, because this thing is driving me nuts. So, take care now. Bye-bye then.